The woman walked into Sovereign Luxury Motors in jeans and a simple white blouse, hoping to surprise her brother with the car of his dreams. The sales manager barely glanced at her before sneering, suggesting she might be more comfortable at their used car lot. Humiliated but composed, she walked out under the judgmental stares of onlookers. The next morning, a custom Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop at the dealership. A man of commanding presence stepped out. As jaws dropped, he calmly said, "I'm here about the treatment my sister received yesterday." What followed would shake their entire world. Natalie Reyes stepped into Sovereign Luxury Motors under the bright Boston morning light, her footsteps quiet against the polished marble floor. Dressed in simple jeans and a crisp white blouse, her long dark hair tied back in a no-nonsense ponytail, she walked past the towering glass walls that showcased rows of gleaming Bentleys, Ferraris, and Aston Martins. The staff barely noticed her at first glance. Natalie, at 32, had the quiet confidence of someone who had built her life from nothing. As the founder of the Reyes Hope Foundation, she had dedicated her career to supporting educational opportunities for underprivileged immigrant children. Her achievements had quietly drawn the respect of many in her community, though few would have recognized the unassuming woman now standing at the heart of extravagance. Natalie wasn't there for herself. After her older brother Javier had fought and won his battle with a life-threatening illness, she had decided to surprise him with the ultimate gift, a Bentley Flying Spur, the car he had once only dreamed of owning. As she approached the showroom display, her mind was focused solely on the joy this gift would bring him, unaware that the test of her own dignity was about to begin. Natalie paused, admiring the sleek curves of the midnight black Bentley Flying Spur. The showroom glistened under the spotlights, every surface polished to perfection. Her gaze softened as she imagined her brother's expression behind the wheel. A young salesman, Ethan Park, approached with a welcoming demeanor, but before he could speak, Connor Blake, the sales manager, stepped in. Impeccably dressed in a tailored navy suit and confident in his authority, Connor gave Natalie a once-over and smirked subtly. With a gesture barely concealing his condescension, he redirected her attention away from the Bentley, motioning instead toward the distant section of pre-owned vehicles. Natalie remained calm, her expression polite yet firm as she reiterated her interest in the luxury car. Connor's tone grew colder, his patience thin. Glances and whispered judgments rippled among the staff and well-heeled customers nearby, some exchanging knowing looks at the woman who dared to dream beyond her station. The moment stretched as Natalie stood her ground, dignity intact, yet aware of the humiliating dismissal. The tension in the air was thick with silent assumptions about class and worth. Ethan lingered nearby, uncomfortable but powerless under Connor's authority. Natalie finally stepped back, resolved yet stung by the blatant disregard. The next morning, the showroom at Sovereign Luxury Motors stirred with the usual rhythm of polished perfection and quiet expectation. Outside, the deep, commanding purr of an approaching engine broke the routine. Conversations halted as a custom silver Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop at the entrance, sunlight reflecting off its flawless curves. A uniformed chauffeur stepped out with precision and opened the rear passenger door. From within emerged Gabriel Reyes, tall and poised, his tailored charcoal suit speaking volumes without ostentation. His presence was effortless, yet commanding, his salt and pepper hair immaculately styled. Staff members subtly straightened ties and adjusted posture as they watched the visitor survey the showroom with calm authority. Connor Blake, catching sight of the vehicle and its occupant, moved swiftly to intercept his mind, already calculating the potential for a career-defining sale. As Gabriel crossed the threshold, his sharp gaze took in every detail: the gleaming vehicles, the opulent design, and the familiar figure of Ethan Park, nervously watching from afar. Unbothered by the manufactured luxury surrounding him, Gabriel's attention was singularly focused. His steps carried the weight of intent and quiet power. A reckoning was coming, though most within the showroom remained blissfully unaware of what lay ahead. Gabriel Reyes moved with deliberate calm through the rows of gleaming luxury vehicles. His sharp eyes landed effortlessly on the midnight black Bentley Flying Spur, the car his sister had chosen. Staff members whispered quietly, watching the distinguished visitor approach Connor Blake. With rehearsed charm, Connor launched into his well-practiced routine, offering grand gestures and polished phrases. But Gabriel's demeanor shifted slightly. Cool professionalism, giving way to piercing scrutiny. The moment of recognition dawned as Gabriel calmly referenced the visit of his sister the day prior. The confident facade on Connor's face faltered. A flicker of panic replaced smug assurance. The weight of the realization pressed heavily as Gabriel revealed Natalie's identity, along with the humiliating experience she had endured under Connor's watch. The showroom seemed to shrink under the sudden shift in atmosphere. Ethan Park stood at a distance, frozen in disbelief, yet silently relieved the truth was being exposed. Customers and staff alike fell into stunned silence. The opulent setting could no longer mask the stark disparity between surface appearances and true character. As Gabriel's steady gaze held firm, the message became unmistakable. The institution's image had cracked, revealing the costly consequences of judgment rooted in prejudice. The tension in the showroom lingered like a heavy fog as Gabriel Reyes outlined the full extent of the insult his sister had faced. His calm yet unwavering presence left no room for denial or excuses. The weight of the moment settled squarely on Connor Blake, whose earlier arrogance had evaporated into pale disbelief. Ethan Park stood quietly watching the balance of power shift in a way few ever witnessed. Gabriel informed the dealership that he would proceed with the purchase of the Bentley Flying Spur for his sister's intended gift. However, he revealed that the decision to replace his company's entire corporate fleet, a deal that would have shattered sales records, was now withdrawn. The blow was delivered not with anger, but with the unflinching resolve of principle. In an unexpected gesture, Gabriel proposed an alternative path for redemption. The dealership would be invited to sponsor and volunteer at the upcoming Reyes Hope Foundation Gala, supporting children from immigrant families. Connor specifically would be expected to participate not as a guest, but as a volunteer, aiding the children directly. The gravity of the consequences became clear. What had started as an ordinary sales encounter had transformed into a lesson about respect, empathy, and the true cost of assumptions. The grand ballroom of the Boston Heritage Hotel shimmered under soft chandeliers, its elegant decor transformed into a celebration of hope and possibility. Vibrant banners of the Reyes Hope Foundation lined the walls as children and families from immigrant communities mingled with donors, volunteers, and community leaders. The energy was warm and genuine, worlds away from the cold opulence of the luxury showroom. Connor Blake stood at the entrance in a simple volunteer's uniform, far removed from the crisp, tailored suits he once wore with pride. The past month had tested him in ways no professional failure ever had. What began as an obligatory gesture for damage control had evolved into something deeply personal. He assisted children with mobility challenges, guided families through the event space, and offered support wherever needed. The simple acts of service slowly dismantled the rigid persona he had built over years of chasing status. Across the room, Natalie Reyes moved gracefully through the crowd, her understated blue dress reflecting the same quiet dignity she had brought to the showroom weeks before. Gabriel Reyes joined her, his proud gaze following as she greeted guests and families. Connor approached a young boy in a wheelchair who laughed brightly as he demonstrated how to shoot a basketball into a lowered hoop. Connor's earlier discomfort had faded into a quiet respect for the resilience and determination of the children around him. As the evening drew to a close, Gabriel and Natalie approached Connor. Though no words were exchanged, the understanding was mutual. A nod of recognition and respect passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of the journey that had led to this moment. The man who once measured people by their appearance had learned that character and compassion defined true worth.